Here we go.
Welcome to Leadership with Darrell W. Gunter, where we explore the ideas, values, and experiences that shape exceptional leaders.
Mhm.
Today's guest is my very dear friend, Mr. Stan Matthews.
Absolutely.
He's an entrepreneur, he's an author, and founder of the Who Blessed You, a collaborative book project. This remarkable initiative gives 30 authors the opportunity to publicly honor three people who
Mhm.
positively informed their lives. The final book becomes a deeply personal legacy asset, one that grandchildren and
Yeah,
future descendants can cherish for generations. Stan, welcome to the program.
I'm
And
glad to be here, man.
what inspired you to do this book?
I was having a conversation with my friend and mentor of 24 years, Dr. George C. Fraser. And we were talking about the fact that when people think of African Americans, they think of people who are very creative, very artistic, but very verbal. But they rarely think of us as a literal people, as writers, in spite of Langston Hughes, in spite of Baldwin, in spite of the great Zora Neale Hurston, in spite of those, right? We're thought of as more oral, right? So Dr. Fraser suggested that we think of a project where we could do two things. Um, Explode the myth of us not being literal, and also create a legacy project that generations would be able to be proud of, and would be able to recall very quickly, who the significant people in our lives were. So, granddad and grandmom and great granddad and grandma would never be forgotten because they would be in this gratitude project that would also double as a generational example. And so we jumped at it, and we thought about the great stories that a number of people would bring to the table. And we thought of the number 30 authors, and the two of us. Each author gets an opportunity to write about the three people who most positively impacted their lives, were a great blessing to them. So they get 2 pages each on these three people, and then they get a seventh page as a dedication page. And on that dedication page, all the people that you wanted to mention, you could kind of say thank you to all of them. Because obviously, in my life, Darrell, in your life, there have been far more than three significant people, right? So the dedication page gets all of those people that weren't the three primary ones. For me, the three primary were Lillian Matthews, my father's mother, my paternal grandmother, Beatrice Andrews, my maternal grandmother, and my mom, Maylene Andrews, those three. And I subtitled the book, The Three Saints Who Shaped This Man. Um, why saints? I was born in Georgetown, Guyana, the only English speaking country in South America. And I came here when I was 9. My mother and my father left to come to this country in 1966. 1968, I'm sorry. I was 4 years old. My sister was 2. We only saw our parents once or twice a year at Easter and Christmas for the next 5 years. And so the people who were my primary parents, Terrell, were maternal grandmother and paternal grandmother, and of course paternal grandfather and maternal grandfather, kind of doubled in that role for my sister and I until 1972. On January 12th of 1972, my sister and I joined our parents here in this country. So I always had held my grandparents in utmost regard because they stood in the gap when my mother and father were here pursuing their education. So I got to write about them. So anybody in my family will never forget Beatrice Andrews, Lillian Matthews, uh, uh, um, my grandfather Benjamin Andrews, my paternal grandfather, Cecil Matthews. These people will never be forgotten by generations after generations because there's an Amazon page with Who Blessed You, and they could read my contribution to the book. So I jumped at it. I thought that was a neat thing to do for children's children to know who these people were and what these people were like, at least from my perspective.
I applaud this project, and I just have to ask you, have you given thought to capturing this on video with the
Ye-
people that you are honoring? Because the sacrifices that they have made are just tremendous.
Yeah,
And for your generations to see, this is how our dad, our granddad was made
yeah.
because of his grandparents.
Yeah, the answer to that question is yes. Unfortunately, the Guyana I grew up in, we have some black and white images of our youth,
Mm.
but we don't have much footage. Uh, AI being what it is, someone has said to me, a guy that I met in Dallas, Texas, his specialty is he creates legacy videos about 15 minutes long to tell family histories. And he said with AI, he could create, some stuff. He just need to know what I needed to tell him,
Right.
and he could do some stuff. So there's a possibility here. There's some significant things that I know. My father's father is an Amerindian Indian. So he's a native of the rainforests of Guyana. Guyana is a country they call the land of many waters, as you know. There's 13 rivers in that tiny little country, all flowing into the Amazon, which is the second biggest river in the world, bordering on Venezuela and Brazil. So my paternal grandfather was from the Arawak tribe, people who were native to South America,
Wow.
whereas my mother's parents were captured Africans who were brought there by the British in the 1600s. In fact, one of the things on my to-do list is to visit Ghana because my mother's mother, Beatrice Andrews, told me when I was a little boy, she gave me a pinky ring with my initials on it. And she said, that ring is a symbol of the people of gold. You are an Ashanti. And we were captured and brought to this country from what was then known as the Gold Coast, and never, ever, ever betray or shame the Ashanti people. That is who you are,
Right.
right? So, boy, do I wish there were pictures to go along with
Yes,
that
yes, yes, yes.
and some film. Whew, what I wouldn't give for that. What I do know is that I have to do a pilgrimage to Ghana because what my mother's mom told me is where our people are from. There's no doubt about it. So I went to the Library of Libraries in Guyana, the Library of Histories in Georgetown, and it's right there. It tells you when the ships came, when they came from Ghana, how many. It's plain. It's handwritten ledgers telling you everything
Right.
you want to know. I know who this man Andrews was. He was one of the big plantation owners. He had a molasses plantation. He was from Northampton in England. He came from England as a ship captain, decided to stay in Guyana, and decided to have a molasses plantation. And he bought slaves to work the plantation. Certainly, those slaves coming from Ghana were not named Andrews.
Right. Right.
So, so I know a bit about that stuff, and we'll see what the potential project leads to. But I have some information about, I would say, who I am.
Right.
Yeah, yeah,
Beautiful. And so, why do you feel that gratitude is such an important leadership and life principle?
yeah, yeah. This from my mother's mother. Um, uh, Gratitude is the universal word uh, for receiving.
Okay.
When one says thank you, it usually means one has received,
Mhm.
right? And so she always used to say to us when we were growing up, a closed hand receives nothing, only an open hand, and your hand should be open to others. My grandmother was often criticized by my grandfather, Benjamin Andrews. He said she was a living, breathing hostel. Like people from all around our village would come to the Andrews household and eat, and some would stay for long periods and until until my grandfather would just get over the top and he would want them gone, right?
Right.
Um, my grandmother was that kind of person. She fed the village. She had a herbal garden in the back. People from miles around would come and she would give them different herbal medicines to cure this and to cure that. She said that her mother, my great grandmother Laura, was a slave that was brought from Ghana, and this woman had knowledge of herbalists, and she passed that down. Uh, my grandmother's garden was the one place when we were growing up we could not go because she had certain things there to do certain things. And then she had these glass bottles in the kitchen, Darrell, and these glass bottles had labels on them so she knew what all natural stuff,
Right.
no CVS, no right?
Right.
Oh, and she would know what to give people, and people would come from miles around, and she would take a little bit of this, a little bit of that, and tell them, "Come back when you're finished." That just a person with a big heart, and so gratitude for my mother's mother. She was grateful for everything, small things, large things, and in her mind, if you didn't say thank you for everything, then she would have a problem with you. Whatever you got, no matter how big or small, say thank you.
Absolutely. And so your book, Who Blessed You, when do you anticipate that it will be published?
It has been published. This is our fourth edition. So
Right.
this is our fourth round of 30 authors.
Yes, yes.
Every time we do this, we have no trouble getting people to. I mentioned a lady from Philadelphia, a sister by the name of Cecile Scott.
Hmm.
Cecile Scott is an amazing entrepreneur. Her seafood salad is so good that literally all of the ShopRites in Philadelphia carry it.
Oh,
People come from outside of Philadelphia to get some of Cecile's seafood salad. I have like 3 cases of it here in the office with Dr. Frazier and I at the Frazier Nation headquarters. A
uh-huh.
very, very, very successful
I
lady.
have to go check that out. I'm in the Philadelphia area.
They're right there. Go to any shop right and ask for Delphine's dishes, Delphine seafood salad,
Okay.
a little small plastic container,
Yeah.
great packaging. Cecile is an amazing businesswoman, very successful. But Cecile's story is more powerful than her success.
Hmm.
A young mom with 2 children, public assistance, struggling in the city of brotherly love, west side of Philadelphia.
I know West Side.
Yeah, and family was her strength even when she was struggling, and obviously she created a recipe that people come for miles, even out of state, to get. Someone told the people at ShopRite about this lady, and one of the general managers met Cecile and had some, and then went up the chain to top brass, and they have helped her with packaging. They've helped her with distribution. Her family is now employed. Cecile is in the latest edition of Who Blessed You,
Wow.
and her business partner and husband for 43 years, unfortunately passed away a couple of years ago
Right.
at the height of the success. So the husband and her daughters and grandchildren are mentioned in her 7 pages. And so now the Scott family has this legacy through Cecile That's just one of the stories of the other 29 in this edition, this fourth edition. And there will be a fifth. We have people, about 8 authors already lined up, because here's what Dr. Frazier and I learned. People want to tell about these people
Right.
who made a way for them. They want to tell these
Yes. Yes.
stories. And so, I don't know how many times we'll do it, but there will be a fifth edition.
So you're a media mogul, and I'm
Hmm.
sure you've thought about this, but what I'm hearing is a
Hmm.
Netflix documentary series that is sharing these stories because these stories are stories of love, encouragement, people seeing it through.
Yeah. Yeah, I would just say that they say that life and death is in the power of the tongue. So you just birthed here a direction that I think I want to pursue. We do have friends in media, friends like you in media. And so we have friends who practice entertainment law. And so, we'll share. I have no trouble sharing this, but I think the value, you're right, Darrell, is in people's stories. Um, on next Wednesday night, all of the authors, Dr. Frazier and I, will do what we do. Every time we finished one of these, this will be the fourth edition of what we call Grow the Gratitude. It will
Mhm.
be a night on Zoom. Well, all 30 of the authors will have 2 minutes to talk about the three people who most blessed them.
Wow.
So there'll be 120 people on Zoom. Now, I warn everybody, if you come to Grow the Gratitude, bring 3 napkins. The whole night, the emotion, Darrell, is through the roof. Because when people get to talking about mom and grandma, get to talking about their kids,
Yes.
it is unlike any Zoom call you've been on,
Oh, yeah.
because the depth of feeling is
Yes.
through the roof, right? So, so next Wednesday is Grow the Gratitude. There'll be a little over 120 people together. You're welcome to come. You and Deborah welcome to come, and you'll see it for yourself when the people start talking about the three people who blessed them.
Oh,
It will become an
okay.
emotional
Yeah.
celebration. Let's put it that way.
Wow. Right.
Yeah.
So let's talk about your experience. What happens emotionally when someone writes about the people who blessed them?
Yeah, I think it has a cathartic effect. I think when you do Who Blessed You, whatever number of years the Creator gives you beyond that point, a
Mhm.
testament to who was most important to you and your thanks for them
Right.
lives on. In a way, it's kind of a pre-obituary. In a way, I'm not saying it is, but in
Right.
a way, whatever number whatever number of years until you transition, this will be a remnant and a testament that other people will remember you by, that you did this. And the fact that each one of our authors gets an Amazon page, once Amazon uploads that page, unless you yourself take it down, it remains. It's there for forever, and people can buy it and find out about it. We have people who, um, now, what I really enjoy too is, once you become a published author, many of the authors who've been with us for the first 3 times are now people who are paid speakers. And what do they get paid to talk about? Gratitude. We have people who call themselves now, who participated in this project, they call themselves gratitude ambassadors. And
Hmm.
people pay them, some a lot of money, some a little money, to come and talk about gratitude.
Right.
What was the first time they ever got a check for speaking? When they participated in Who Blessed You?
Wow. That is huge.
So I forget who one of our authors coined the term gratitude ambassador. She started calling herself a gratitude ambassador because she said after she participated in this, people at her church started having her come and speaking about why gratitude is important.
I want to jump into the different types of people who we encounter and who have an influence on our community and our family. In your opinion, how do mentors, parents, teachers, and friends shape leadership capacity?
Yeah, so the Bible, at this the context that I like to speak from, the Bible says, "How shall they know, lest they have a teacher?" Right? How shall they know? If I look back at my life or what I could remember, I came to this country when I was in the third grade. Because I spoke with a strong Caribbean accent, I was not a person who would speak a lot. I would do my work in the classroom, third, fourth, fifth grade. And then a lady by the name of Dolores Capers said, um, "I want you to be in the spelling bee."
Hmm.
No, I don't want to be in the spelling bee. It means I would have to get up on the stage and talk. Yeah, you're going to do it. So she comes to my house and tells my mother, your son has high aptitude. He's going to do this spelling bee. I want you to convince him to do it. So mom says, listen to your teacher. All right. Uh, to your answer to your question, Miss Capers opened the door to 36 years of leadership and entrepreneurship.
Mhm.
She believed that I could do more than I had shown, and she encouraged. The year after I did the spelling bee, she says, "You're in the sixth grade now. You're going to go to junior high school next year." I said, "Yes." She says, "I want you to run for student council president." I said, "I barely know anybody here. I'm from a foreign country." She said, "Run." I won. This woman saw something
Right.
in this kid from another country with an accent. So that's my answer to the question. Um, um, Between, I would say, ages 5 and 10, there's some people who have the ability to influence you, and
Mhm.
they could either shape you in a positive way or they could shape you in a negative way. We don't pay teachers enough. People like this who work harder and get paid less, they have everything to do with who you are because they were the parent that you didn't have because your parents were off to work. And so these people shaped character, shaped ambition, said to you, yes, you can, long before there was a Barack Obama. These were the people telling you, yes, you can. You right now in your mind probably is searching for the people who, favorite teachers that you had. We all know them. We all had these people who saw something and they sparked something in us and they were able to nurture something in us that made us, who we are today.
Mhm.
And, I thank God for encountering Miss Capers. Tough as nails, didn't take no crap, B plus or nothing. You can do better than that. I expect more from you.
Yes, yes, yes.
Yeah, yeah, that person.
If you look at all of the stories that you've been able to gather and share, what is it your main hope that someone who's not familiar with Who Blessed You, but is picks up the book, buys the book, is given it as a gift? What is the, your main hope that they come away with?
Um, to me, family is not something, Darrell. It's everything.
Mhm.
There are three things here at Fraser Nation that Dr. Fraser has taught me and has taught thousands of people for 52 years. Number one is that deep, truly committed relationships are what life is about.
Mhm.
Fostering real, strong, committed relationships. The second thing is um, connecting is the precondition for unity. We can't talk about the concept of unity until we're first connected,
Yes.
right? So connection is the precondition for unity, and unity is the precondition for wealth development. Unless we're unified and we do things collectively, we can't um, um, That's why the institution of church, the African American church, has always been our central foundation. It's been our rock, our resting place, and it's been our refuge, right? Uh, that institution is symbolic of our unity. We could
Mhm.
always go to the family church, the community church, and that's where meetings would be held, and you would hear people talking about things, about having morals, about having faith, about electing people, about doing the right thing. The first basketball uniform or track uniform I ever wore was in the CYO league, right? So, but church is about unity, people coming together to do things for the body. And so, that's what I want people to get from this. One, relationships are everything.
And we just
Two,
have
to the
a couple minutes left.
Sure,
This is phenomenal.
sure.
How can someone get in touch with you?
They can call me directly at 732-357-5701. I've had the same mobile number for 3 decades. uh, um, was Singular, was AT&T, now it's Verizon. So I've gone through several different iterations of that number, and it's still there. And you can email me also at mbnstan@gmail.com. There will be a fifth edition of Who Blessed You, and if you'd like to send me an email, say, just send me an email saying, Stan, I'm in. I'll get back in contact with
Well,
you.
well, Stan, I'm giving you a verbal Stan I'm in. So I'll send you a note as well.
You are welcome, my brother. You are welcome, and your family, rich in history and culture as it is. The toughest time you'll have is who the three primaries are.
I already got him. It's my
Well, you're going to
mother.
have some people who are going to be upset with you.
Well, they won't be they won't be surprised. Um, it'll be my mother,
Hmm.
my sister Libby, and see, this is where I get off easy because my older sister Elaine has passed away.
All right.
And then of course Diane was she raised me while my
Mhm.
mother was in the store. So yeah.
Yeah. So you've got yours. Um, um, I could hear almost every once in a while, I look at my 7 pages and I reread the descriptions of my two grandmothers and my mother, and I could literally hear them laughing when I do that.
Right.
I could literally hear them um, because of the things that I said. My father's mother, my grandmother Lillian Matthews, she one day took me in the kitchen and gave me a spoonful of hazelnut coffee. And she said, Here, I want you to taste this on the tablespoon. She said, Now, if you like this, you're going to be addicted to it for life. She was right. The only kind of coffee I drink to this day is hazelnut. And then next to the coffee was on a plate, on a little saucer, a slice of lemon meringue pie. She
Oh,
said, This is heaven's breakfast. She said, Now taste that pie. I still to this day drink hazelnut coffee and eat lemon meringue pie at the same time because of this lady.
wow.
I don't know if it's that I like the hazelnut coffee and the lemon meringue pie that much, but it brings me back
Yes. Yeah.
to my grandmother. So it's kind of a ritual,
Yes. 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 Yeah.
where I'm invoking Lillian Matthews. So, it is
Well,
what it is.
ladies and gentlemen, I want to thank our guest today, Mr. Stan Matthews. He's founder
It's
of
my
the
pleasure.
Inspiring Who Blessed You collaborative book project. This is for number 4. They got a number 5 that's coming out. You can find it on Amazon. So, in a world that moves quickly, this initiative reminds us to pause, reflect, and honor those who help shape our lives.
Yeah.
More importantly, it creates a lasting legacy for future generations can treasure. Stan, thanks for coming on the program.
Listen, it's been my absolute pleasure. To the man who first shared with me what Forex is. Then after that, he came back and did another lecture about what we now know as the blockchain. And then after that, he came back and he said, watch out for something called AI. Darrell Gunter is a thinker. he's a friend, and he's always way out ahead of everything. So
But but
I'm
sometimes some people say,
always
wait,
grateful to
go
be
ahead.
in your presence, buddy. So
Okay. Well,
yeah,
thank you.
so
Thank you.
glad to come back whenever you call.
Will do. That
All right.
wraps it up this week on Leadership with Darrell W. Gunter. We want you to have a great day, a great blessed day. But remember, leadership, it begins with you.